Hey, this is Matt Pichet, your Kitchener-Waterloo home buyer. And today's video is about inheriting an unwanted home and how you can quickly sell it. Now, if you yourself are in this position, I know how challenging this can be. The loss of a parent or a family member can be extremely tough on its own, let alone having to deal with another property and how to get rid of it. Now, before I get into those ways of how you can quickly get rid of your inherited home, let's first go over the top 5 responsibilities that a lot of people forget about when they inherit a home. So number 1, we want to set up the utilities and we want to pay those bills. So it's very important in the wintertime to keep the home fairly warm and in the summertime to keep it cool. This is to avoid drywall peeling and paint peeling on the walls and the ceilings, and also to avoid pipes bursting in the wintertime. So we definitely want to set those up and pay them. I know you have a busy schedule with your own house and your own family going on, and you might forget to pay those bills, but we definitely do want to do that because the city can put a lien on the property and even go after you, which could damage your credit rating. So we don't want to deal with that when we're dealing with an already stressful situation, right? So that's number 1. Number 2, we want to pay and set up the taxes. So again, just like the utilities, people forget to set up the taxes and pay for them. Again, the city will put a lien on the property, which is never good, and they'll even come after you, which will damage your credit rating. So you definitely want to do those right away. Number 3, we want to cut the grass and shovel the snow regularly. Just because the house isn't yours, you're not living in it, you still want to keep the curb appeal looking good. Again, if the grass gets too long, you're going to have to deal with the city, and same with the snow. Okay, we want to definitely avoid people walking by and slipping on your property because we know where that's going to go. So we definitely want to keep the house in tip-top shape. Number 4, right when you walk into the home, the day you close on it, you want to turn the water off. This is always a good practice just to avoid, again, pipes bursting in the wintertime or any other thing. Pipes can just burst for no reason, and if no one's living there, it's going to be extreme damage. So we definitely want to turn the water off just to avoid those situations and minimize the risk. So that's always a good practice. And number 5, we want to visit the property regularly. Again, just because you're not living there, you still want to check up on it at least once or twice a week. Twice or once every 2 weeks at a minimum. So once a week, once every 2 weeks. Just in case for vandalism or even worse, squatters moving into the property and creating a ton of damage, which I've seen way too many times when people inherit a home. So we definitely want to avoid those situations. If you're coming by to see the property, that kind of lets the neighborhood and neighbors know that someone's living there, so it might deter squatters or vandalizers from damaging your property. So those are the 5 responsibilities that you have to now keep up on when you inherit another property. So here are the easiest ways to get rid of your inherited home quickly, because we definitely want to avoid, this can be a big hassle on top of your life and already busy schedule, right? So we want to avoid having to deal with these kind of things. So this is how you can quickly and most efficiently get rid of your inherited home, and that's to sell your property to a private investor, okay? So a lot of people think when they sell a home, the only option is to sell it with a real estate agent. And in some cases, that is a smart decision. When it's your own home and you're living there, you can take the time and afford the time to sell it with a realtor. Selling with a realtor takes a lot of time. On average, about 4 to 5 months from closing to closing, right? There's a lot of work that has to go into the property usually beforehand, especially with an inherited home. There tends to be a lot of work due with outdated cosmic decor. So we have to usually, and realtors will usually want you to update the home first, which could take a month, 2 months. Then they got to get it on the market, and it might take a month or 2 before you can get an offer accepted. And then from that point, a typical buyer won't close on that property for around 60 to 90 days after that. So you're looking at about 4 to 6 months from closing to closing. So that's having to do all this and visit the property regularly for 6 months can be a hassle. So that's one reason why you shouldn't sell an inherited home with a realtor. Number 2, you have to manage the home like I said. And lastly, you have to pay expensive commissions and fees when you hire a realtor. let alone the renovations that your realtor will likely expect that you do or push you to do in order to get it on the market to sell to a regular buyer. Okay, regular buyers don't really like outdated homes or homes that need a lot of work. It's just the way it is. So the easiest way to get around all of this is to just sell it to a private investor, because they do not care about a home that's outdated, a home that needs a ton of work. And also the biggest benefit to you is that there's no commissions at all, or no fees either. And better yet, they can even often close in as little as 10 business days. So the day they meet you at the property, 10 days from there, they can have that house closed and out of your life, okay? And they don't always want a smoking deal or to screw someone over. That's a big, big misconception, that investors are out to screw sellers. Totally not true. Yes, there are some bad investors, but if you meet a professional and honest and great investor, they're gonna want to give you the best deal possible that they can give you. They're not out to screw anybody. They're out to buy properties for a business, right? So those are the top tips to why you should sell your inherited home to a private investor. So if you're in this situation in Kitchener-Waterloo and Cambridge, and you want to get rid of an inherited home quickly, I myself am a professional investor here in Kitchener-Waterloo, and I'm always looking to buy properties all the time. I buy properties almost every single month. So I'm always looking for more homes to buy. So if you're in this situation, or if you know someone who is inheriting or already inherited a home and they want to sell it quickly, have them contact me, or go to the link right below this video, and you can go over right to my website, my home buying website, and contact me through there and find out why you should sell your house to me as opposed to a real estate agent, okay? See you in the next video.